eUniverse Live is brought to you by the NetFirst MasterCard. Get a MasterCard with no credit check and instant online approval. Find out more at credit.eUniverselive.com. Hey, and welcome to a Monday at eUniverse Live. It is April 16th. It's D-Day in the tax world. 2001, and it's your good friend, it's your pal. It's TC, everybody. Hey, what's going on the show today? Well, we're talking with the talented and beautiful Megyn Price from the hit TV show Grounded for Life right there on Fox. We're going to be talking with her in just 1 second. I want to mention to you, though, that Grounded for Life is a pretty good show. I got to say, I watched a couple episodes and I dig on it. It's actually on Wednesday nights on Fox at 8:30, 7:30 Central. Plus, if you're interested, while we're talking to Megyn, you can swing by the official Grounded for Life website at groundedforlife.com. We'll talk to Megyn about the show, of course, upcoming episodes, and a whole lot more, including she was in an episode of Quantum Leap once. So, plus, we'll talk about Al Franken and Russell Crowe. Hey, she's worked with Russell Crowe. Pretty impressive, huh? After we talk to Megyn, we're kind of changing up the format a little bit today. I'm going to try this for the heck of it. We'll do headlines making stories, and then also we'll talk about some of the brand new movies that came out this past weekend. So you got that to look forward to. That's what's going on eUniverse Live today. Now let's talk to Megyn Price about Grounded for Life. With the economy slowing down, maybe you need a little extra do-re-mi in your pocket, eh? How about a new MasterCard? Visit credit.eUniverselive.com. Got bad credit and need some help rebuilding it? Don't worry. There's no credit check. Plus, you can get instant, that's right, I said instant, online approval at credit.eUniverselive.com. Your new MasterCard is just waiting for you. Get it at credit.eUniverselive.com.
Hi, this is Corbin Burnson. You are tuned into eUniverse Live.
And the big show continues. It's Megyn Price from Grounded for Life. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm actually peachy keen, as I like to tell everybody.
Excellent.
Excellent. Now, you're the mom on Grounded for Life, right?
Yes, I am. Yes.
I got one question for you.
Okay.
And you probably get this a lot. How old is the character?
Older than I am, but it's the magic of TV, so you're just supposed to buy it.
Right. As I'm like, you're like, what, 29 in real life?
Yeah.
And
I actually just turned 30 last weekend.
Well, just 30. Well, happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, we figured out I would have had to be 12 to have my daughter.
How old is the daughter supposed to be? Like 16 or
15.
15? Oh, okay.
15, yeah.
Yeah, I was like watching some of the episodes, and I'm like, what in the world?
I know. It's a little bit of a stretch, but whatever. There are better parts written for older actresses, so I don't mind. I'll play a little older. It's fine.
That's true. You know, so I've seen a couple of the episodes, and I thought they were pretty good.
Well, thank you.
And I'm kind of sometimes a cynic when it comes to TV. But
I'm always a cynic when it comes to TV, so if I'm doing this show, it means I must think it's pretty good. I really watch anything.
I actually watched the pilot, the premiere episode, and that was it took a while to get started because maybe some of the stuff at the beginning wasn't as funny as it might have been, but maybe because I'm learning the new characters and stuff, and you really don't know what to make of it.
That's what's tough too, is kind of getting a handle on who's who in the very beginning.
Right.
But I felt like by the end, it definitely you kind of got a feel for who was who and what was going on with the relationship.
I was trying to remember the grandfather and where I had seen him before, and I finally remembered it this morning. It was Office Space.
Yeah, his name's Richard Reilly, and he's been in so many movies. I mean, if you look him up on the IMDb, the Internet Movie Database,
right?
He's done millions of things, and he's one of those guys. You're like, how do I know that guy? Howard Stern was talking about him the other day that he was in Deuce Bigalow, and he was apparently the funniest guy in the world.
Oh, really? I don't remember him from that.
I didn't see the movie, but
I loved him. Yeah, I loved him though in Office Space.
He's really fantastic in everything he's ever done. He's done a ton of theater, so that's another reason a lot of people haven't seen him. Is if you didn't go see him in a show.
Yeah, I would imagine he's kind of a good guy to bounce things off since he's been around for a long time, huh?
He's a fantastic guy, and he's read everything there is to read, which is my big thing. I mean, I'm constantly in my dressing room reading books, and he's done the same thing throughout his career. He's just a really eclectic, amazing guy. I wish I had a woman who was, his age I could set him up with. He's the perfect setup guy.
Now, this isn't meant to be a shot at Hollywood or anything or TV, but you seem almost too smart to be doing television.
You see, I just waited till there was a project that I felt had smart enough writers. Yeah, the last thing I did was written by Al Franken and a man called John Marcus, and they were both just brilliant guys, and it was so fun to do that. So I got very spoiled, and I sat out of TV for, a year and a half, did a couple movies, and was really getting kind of jaded on the whole thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the exec producers of Grounded they're just such bright, normal guys. You just want to hang out with them. They're not your typical 21-year-old straight out of Harvard sitcom writers. They do things definitely not by formula. If you can see by the way our show is even written.
Right.
It's not even the same formula as, set up punchline. We don't really have punchlines.
Right. What do you think of the people that compare the show to Malcolm in the Middle?
Oh, well, I think that's high praise, but
Yeah,
I think that we're not, it's not the same genre, again.
Right.
I think it's very high praise because Malcolm did the same. They just kind of said, well, there's the formula. We don't even want to go anywhere near that formula.
Right.
But they break the fourth wall a lot, and they have the actors talk to camera sometimes. And we definitely tell a story rather than interact with the audience. So I feel like that's where we're different. But Malcolm is, again, so intelligently written, and they're so not afraid to have characters that are unlikable.
Right.
Or they're real, which sometimes is unlikable,
Right.
People aren't likable all the time.
But, like you said, it's kind of nice to be compared to the show because it's
absolutely
done quite well for itself. And
that's the only show that I found last season, and it just even script-wise, that I thought, oh, yeah, here's a contender.
Right.
There were so many, pieces of garbage that were written around stars that weren't even written.
Right.
They were just, okay, we'll stick a star on TV and hopefully someone will watch.
I can think of a lot of shows.
Yeah, guess what? We won't watch.
So how is the show doing? Is it doing pretty good?
Oh, yeah, we're doing great. We just got an article from the New York Times that said we were number 5 among, 12 to 18-year-olds, and we win our demographic every single week, the demographic of people who pay, which is 18 to 35 or whatever that is.
Right.
Yeah, it's incredible. I think we lost some viewers to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire the first couple of weeks, but if you're under the age of 70, you're kind of looking for something different. So, yeah, we're doing great. It's fantastic.
Now, I've only seen a couple episodes, but does every show contain flashbacks?
Yeah, that's how all the stories are told. It's
okay.
basically told in present time, and then what happened, and we flash back.
I like that. That's a neat concept.
It is. I mean, it's really nice for the audience, too, who comes into our live show, because we do a live show on Friday nights. And so the audience sees the present time stuff acted out in front of them, and they get to see the playback from the week for what we've shot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's a really different experience from normal sitcom tapings, which are horribly long.
What's been your favorite episode so far from the show?
I think the title of the episode was called Like a Virgin, just because it was about my character, Claudia, and the daughter's character, Lily. Mm-hmm. And it was more about their relationship, and they go off on a little getaway weekend together. And it's just kind of a little mother-daughter bonding thing that doesn't feel as stereotypically mother-daughter bonding, if that makes sense. It's kind of running the fine line between being a friend and being a parent.
In the second episode where you guys invade Lily's email,
yes,
one of them that I saw, I was watching it with my girlfriend, and we were trying to figure out, we were going back to the age thing with you, and we were like, oh, it's got to be the stepmother. It's got to be the stepmother.
Oh, yeah, no. We're just fudging a little. It's weird. I mean, so many actresses were like, oh, I don't want to play the mother. It's not. I just don't think it's about playing the mother or playing the whatever. It's about the role. It's about the character.
Right, yeah.
And I just think it's such a fun character to play. I mean, I have this mother who's, she's a mother kind of, but she also is fighting to go out with her friends half the time, and she's still responsible but doesn't really know what she's doing. There are just so many different facets to her that I love. And I love that we get to kind of play and figure out our characters as we go.
Right. When it was when you guys were just about to come on the air, I remember seeing a lot of commercials for it.
Yeah.
But then I'm thinking, well, it's going to be your typical comedy, and it's going to be predictable. But when I finally actually got a chance to watch a couple of episodes, I really liked the show. So now I'm got to seek it out on Wednesday night, which kind of.
Oh, that's why I did the show. I mean, really, I don't want to do a project that I'm not proud to tell people to watch.
Right.
I kind of made that little pact with myself when I started out. I don't want to be in something that I have to mumble under my breath Yeah, I'm on Melrose Place. I mean, not that Melrose Place was bad, but, I want to do something that I'm proud of that's not your typical anything.
Right. Now, have you guys been picked up for next season already then?
We haven't gotten the official pickup, actually.
Really? What's going on there?
Well, they don't have to tell us until, I think, May. But
until the last second. Right?
Things look good. They keep ordering more episodes for this year, so that's always a really good sign.
So are you guys going to run through May then?
Oh, yeah. We're already doing a bunch of stuff for May sweeps. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're still in production now, which is odd because most shows have shut down.
Right.
So we're still shooting.
Is there anything interesting coming up on the show you can tell us about?
Oh, my gosh, there's tons. And what's really incredible about our show is that we have such a good cast. I mean, the other cast members are so uniquely talented that we have special episodes that revolve around, different cast members' talents. And different, we have one with my character that's a dream sequence, and I can't tell you anything that happens in it, but it's totally shocking and never done before on television. And then we have one that involves Griffin Frazen, who plays Jimmy, the second to youngest kid. He's the middle child. Mm-hmm. He has this amazing martial arts capabilities. And so there's one episode that really is fantastic that kind of focuses in on that in a really unique way. It's not just, hey, watch Griffin do martial arts. It's watch Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and that's really what he's done. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have really good directors, and like I said, our writers there's no end to their imagination because they don't have to follow a formula.
Right.
They really get to figure out whatever they want to do. They get to play.
I like the fact that you guys use songs, too, from current era and previous era.
Yeah, they're all huge music buffs, and if you look at the titles of our episodes, they're all songs.
Right.
They're all, Lily Be Good and, Jimmy's Got a Gun. They're all, they're all sort of variations on music themes, yeah.
I got to mention, I see you were in a movie with Russell Crowe, huh?
I was, yeah, Mystery Alaska.
Did you get to work with him?
Oh, yeah. My big scenes were with him. He's the nicest man in the entire world.
Is he?
Yes, he really is. And there have been all kinds of crazy press about him, and he really was the sweetest person to me. He really, I was in a sea of a bunch of guys in a hockey movie, and he was very, very protective of me in a very nice, brotherly way. Yeah, he's a very good guy. Very reliable in terms of working with him. You always know he's going to hold up his end of the scene.
Right. What was the deal with that movie? It seemed like I started seeing previews for it like a year before it came out. Was that was it delayed?
Well, it was a David Kelly movie, right. And as you kind of can tell from Ally McBeal and The Practice and Boston Public, he has a lot of characters that he loves. He really gets invested in a lot of different storylines going up. And in week-long television, it seems possible to do a lot of different storylines. And in a movie, people really need fewer lines. So I think it was delayed because they were trying to hone down the stories, the number of stories that they had going on. But you had fantastic actors. You had Maury Chaykin, you had Burt Reynolds, you had Russell Crowe, you had, Hank Azaria, all these people who had their own stories. Mm-hmm. And you really didn't want to cut any of them.
Right.
So I think that's why it took a little longer.
Also, I got to ask, I was somewhat of a big fan of Quantum Leap, and based on the episode names, I can never remember what episode is which.
Right.
So I know you were in an episode. Can you actually refresh my memory to what episode you were in?
Yeah, I was in an episode that was set in the 60s. I was burning bras with a crazy rabble-rouser, and Scott Bakula was my mother in drag. And my father was played by Max Gale, who used to be in Barney Miller.
Yeah. Okay, I think I remember that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I was in one of the ones where he's in a dress. A little disturbing to see, but yeah, that was a great experience. That was really a great, great learning experience for me. Scott Bakula kind of taught me how to act for one camera. Mm-hmm. He showed me the footage after the first day and kind of gave me tips, and it was really great.
So you liked working with Al Franken in Lateline?
Oh, of course. Al's hilarious. I talk to him every now and then. He doesn't even try to be funny. He doesn't even know he's funny. He's just the funniest guy you've ever met.
Yeah, Al's the kind of guy that just kind of, I would assume, rubs me the wrong way. I don't know why.
Yeah. But he rubs a lot of people the wrong way. It's okay. You're not alone.
Maybe that's why the show didn't work out. But I heard it was good, but it just obviously didn't survive, unfortunately. Yeah, that was a weird time, too, at NBC. There were a lot of changeovers going on in management, and there was some confusion with the show, what it was supposed to center around. And I feel like the idea of the show was what we all married, and it just got a little convoluted. I never watched it, probably because, when I think of the word liberal, you look it up in the dictionary, you'd probably see a picture of Al or Barbra Streisand. Right, except that's the thing. My father was the most conservative Republican in the entire world, and he watched the show because we had, number one, we had real people on the show. We had actual senators and, right.
All kinds of people were on our show. Dick Gephardt was on our show.
Was it skewed liberally though? That's
No,
what I was scared
not at
me
all.
off.
That was the best
okay.
part about it.
Okay.
Was that also it almost made fun of the liberal side. I mean, they really had. Al has a really good sense of humor about what's, about politics, which sounds kind of off, but it's true.
Right.
He's not a staunch liberal. He won't, rip you apart if you have a. He's not like Bill Maher.
Right.
Like Bill Maher will kill you if you have a conservative opinion. But Al will really listen. I mean, he's not a talker all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He'll listen to other people's opinions. He won't agree with you, but.
One final question. What do you got coming up besides Grounded for Life?
Well, we're still shooting this all the way through the end of April. And then right now I'm meeting, in my all of 2 minutes of free time every week for different movies and different things that are coming up. We have an impending strike. I don't know if you know about this.
Right, yeah.
That's sort of coming. So immediately when I get off Grounded, we're going to try to do something right before the strike.
How do you think the general public's going to address that? It's like baseball players going on strike, because most people think of, the really expensive baseball players, and most people see the salaries of Tom Cruise from Mission Impossible.
Right. It's not really the actors. I mean, personally, I don't think the actors are going to go on strike.
Right.
It's more the writers,
right,
which
I know.
directly affects everything.
But, it's the actors that are...
But the way to make people understand it, it's not that people want more money. That's not it at all.
Oh, it isn't?
It's really, there's technology, well, as you know from your job, there's technology right now that was not defined 10 years ago. It didn't even exist.
Right.
So there's a lot of intellectual property issues with the Internet and, all kinds of different forms that didn't exist when these contracts were written up. So really it's the writer saying, hey, listen, if we write something and it goes to 800 million people on the Internet, that's a very different pay scale than... seeing 2 million people in a theater.
Yeah, I know the music industry is worried about Napster and obviously the MP3, but obviously down the road, as the speeds for the Internet get faster and faster, you'll be able to download full-length movies. And
that's why they're dealing with it now. They're trying to find some sort of middle ground. It's almost impossible. It's so vast. The Internet is so vast. It's limitless.
Right.
So, that's really what the argument is about. It's not, we're so mistreated. My God, we're the luckiest people on the earth. We get to do what we love to do, laugh our heads off while we're doing it, and get paid really, really well.
Yeah, but the general public is going to look at it as, there's people in Hollywood making tons of money who are whining about it. That's how they're going to look at it, unfortunately.
Of course.
So.
That's all right.
Right, yeah.
Whatever.
Thanks. I appreciate the time.
You're welcome.
And good luck with the show. I really liked it.
Thanks. You should watch it. I promise it's smart.
I will. I just never... the only time I really remember to watch anything is like Sunday night for The Sopranos and Malcolm in the Middle these days.
Exactly. Get TiVo, man. TiVo's the way of the future.
I know. All right. Well, have a good day.
Okay. Thanks. You too.
All right. And a big thanks goes out to Megyn Price from Grounded for Life. See, it holds true every time we've had a woman on the show. This is the result. A great, great interview. Wonderful time talking to Megyn Price. A lot of fun to talk to her. No disrespect toward men, because we've had a lot of great guys on the show, but women in general are just much, much better, in my humble opinion. I don't know why that is, but I love them, and that's the way it should be, right? Grounded for Life. Now, don't let the title of the show fool you, because it kind of sounds a little hokey. But trust me, it's a good show, and I wouldn't tell you if it was a good show if it wasn't a good show. Grounded for Life, Wednesday nights on Fox, 8:30, 7:30 Central, and, of course, the official website is groundedforlife.com. Hey, if you're a regular listener to the show, you know that I kind of changed the format up today. I figure one of the things in attracting new users to the show is, like, if they're coming to listen to Megyn Price's interview, they want to hear Megyn Price right away. They don't want to hear me spiel on for 5-6 minutes, which I tend to do before we get to the interview, And understandable, I can understand that because, people may not be endeared to me right away or never. But, that's just a fact of life. I'm not trying to please everybody, That's just the way it works. But so I figured we change the format a little bit up. Try it for a couple of weeks. If it works out good, we'll continue to use it. But so usually in the beginning of the show now, we're just going to jump right into the interview. We got a lot of interviews coming up, like on Thursday. Corbin Burnson, of course, famous for LA Law and a lot of other good stuff, coming on to talk about his new venture called PublicFilmWorks.com. And also, he'll be talking about his brand new movie called Judgment, which was number 7 a couple of weeks ago in sales, in video sales, just behind Gladiator. Very, very great numbers. So we'll hear from Corbin Burnson on Thursday. And then, of course, Friday, Big Movie Friday with Ollie. We'll talk about the brand new movies, including Freddy Got Fingered coming out. And then next Monday, we're talking Jag. One of the stars of Jag will be on the show, so that should be a lot of fun. And then Coming in the future weeks, Shea Seeger, a brand new singer, and also one of the legends, for my money, one of the greatest entertainers, one of the greatest writers of music in the history of music. Very talented, the most talented woman in rock, the most talented woman, one of the most talented women in music of all time, in my humble opinion, and one of the most talented people of all time. Stevie Nicks going to be on the show, so that should be classic. Can't wait for that. Going to be a lot of fun. So that's what's all coming up on the big show. And, of course, tomorrow it's Big Music Tuesday. We'll talk about the brand new movies, or not the movies, but the brand new music coming out, and then also music news. I see a little sad note coming out of the Ramones camp. Joey Ramone, 49, died of cancer yesterday, so condolences goes out to the Ramones and their families on that. But we'll talk more about that tomorrow. Anyways, let's get to it now. The headlines making stories. Yes, our daily romp through the headlines in the news, legitimate news stories. These are real news stories, and the stories that result because of them are tongue-in-cheek stories that result because of the news, legitimate news headlines. So there we go. All right, first story on the agenda. The Association of Italian Americans has sued HBO, claiming The Sopranos suggests crime is in the genes of Italians. We're looking for a moral victory here, says Theodore Gripo, the association chairman, as his attorneys Louis the Enforcer Luciano and Willie Greasy Thumb Pastorelli nodded in agreement. I don't know. Whatever. Next story. Interior Secretary Gail Norton traveled to the West Coast, where she released 5 California condors to the wild. The condor is the largest scavenger that's related to the vulture. Sure enough, the moment they were freed, the birds flew straight to San Jose and bought Yahoo at 14. I knew that was death. Scavengers! Oh, well. And finally today, Warren Beatty stars in Town and Country, a new movie coming up pretty quick here. As a middle-aged womanizer who gets stuck in the suburbs. In his career, Beatty has played a bank robber, a communist sympathizer, a scandal-plagued presidential candidate, and now a womanizer. You know, that sounds like the resume of a Bill Clinton wannabe. All right, those are the headlines making stories, our daily romp to the legitimate headlines in the news and the stories that result because of them. Let's talk a little bit of showbiz blast today. And actually, tomorrow we're going to do some dementia email. Been getting quite a bit of dementia email. And in fact, I got one that just ripped the hell out of me, and I'll be sure to read that one. That's always a good time. I love getting email that rips me because it's fun. Plus, it makes you think a little bit too sometimes. So sometimes it's not all bad. But yeah, dementia email coming up tomorrow, so you got that to look forward to on Big Music Tuesday. Hey, I went out and saw Joe Dirt this past week, and I gotta say, it wasn't that good. I mean, I'd maybe give it a 4. If I was feeling really peppy and zippy, I might give it a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10. But it's not that good. I mean, it has a few moments, but other than that, it's a long movie. It seems those 3 acts just seem to go on forever. So I don't know what to make of it. But yeah, I'd probably give it a 4 rating. So if you're looking for like some mindless, lowbrow comedy to go see a movie this week, definitely Joe Dirt. Though from what I hear, and Ali, of course, told us on Friday that Bridget Jones's Diary was definitely the movie to go see. Actually, the top 6 movies this past weekend, number 6 was a new entry. It was Kingdom Come, that ensemble cast starring Whoopi Goldberg and many others. Number 5 was Blow. Can't wait to see that. That's actually not in my brand new, spanking new theater here in town. However, it's supposed to be next week, so that should be cool. Number 4, Joe Dirt. Number 3, Bridget Jones's Diary. Number 2, Along Came a Spider and Sat Down Beside Her. And number 1 for the 3rd straight week, everybody says that this is a wonderful movie, and I'm beginning to agree with them because it's doing quite well. Spy Kids, It's a movie to take the whole family to, directed by Richard Rodriguez and starring Antonio Banderas. So 2 guys you'd never relate to a kids movie, but they've successfully made a really good one, so maybe we should keep doing that. So there you go. All right, well, it looks like I've told you a lot about what's coming up in the next couple of weeks, and I'm really excited about it. And we got the brand new website launching this week. Come hell or high water, it's going to launch this week, so you got that to look forward to also. All right, big show in the book once again, and a special thanks goes out to Megyn Price. It's April 16th, 2001. I hope you got your taxes done. You got to get them mailed today. Have yourself a wonderful evening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Sign up at showbizblast.com to get eUniverse Live delivered to your mailbox each and every weekday. If you have comments, questions, or suggestions, email us at feedback@eUniverseLive.com. Any reproduction or rebroadcast of this program without the prior written consent of eUniverse is strictly prohibited. eUniverse Live is a production of the eUniverse Network.
You haven't lost your touch.